Yo, good morning YouTube. First, welcome back to this seemingly abandoned YouTube channel. If you were watching the UEM to GM series, sorry for not uploading for so long, but let's say I was having some RNG difficulties with a specific grind, and I didn't want to do 5 videos on the same content, but surely we'll continue with that soon. But anyway, yesterday Jagex uploaded this Slayer blog, and well, this is like the summer sweep for the Slayer blog. And everybody seemed to love this on like all the socials on Twitter and stuff. And you will probably have seen No Monkey's video, like explaining the whole thing. And like everybody's very positive about everything. But I think it's actually quite mid, this blog. And I think Jagex is missing a chance to hit a home run here. And they are again going for like a blunt to only make it to first base. And sure, that will get the crowd going a little bit, but I think we can do a whole lot better in this video, and I will explain why I think we can like do better. And I will also just present a quick idea at the end of the video, like how to do that. I would like you to consider what I have to say on this, because I think my idea is a lot better than what Jagex has here. And yeah, I feel like most players, they can't really see like what else is possible when like they get presented a block like this. They just read this and like, oh, okay, this is just what we're gonna get. Like they don't really think about, oh, what if we change this, or what if we do something else. And that is fine. Like not everybody has the ability to like see that like that quickly, but I think I have a good idea here that I would like to present. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the block, what they are doing here. Of course, we have the block list changes, which I think is a good idea in like theory. Absolutely, like it allows you for more flexibility when like hopping between Slayer Master. Like the old system was not good, very outdated, very expensive to even try and switch up your block lists. But what they're doing here with like the points is kind of making it so that you front load the skill even more with point boosting, because you already needed like, let's say 1000 points or something to even like get some blocks going that buy some like unlocks like Slayer Helm that most people are going for first. So yeah, if Jagex is asking you to even like progress through the Slayer Masters and have to spend points here, like you're gonna be point boosting for like another 500 points, if not more, to even get this going, which I think is not a good idea, because like they're also changing the early point stuff, but realistically, like most people even skip this guy. I feel like Vanaka is already only 40 combat requirement or something, which you're just gonna be after like completing Monkey Madness, or like the not even Monkey Madness, like the 3 gnome quest. You're already going to be 40 combat, and you can probably just go to Vanaka. But you're only going to spend like, I don't know, 10 tasks here. Like you might get 120 points if you complete 10 tasks. Well, the first 5 you don't even get points. So yeah, you're gonna get like maybe enough for one block or something is what you're maybe gonna get. So these point changes barely do anything, but they still require you to spend like a giga amount of points like when you progress here, because what you could do for like Vanaka, I'm not sure what his list actually is, but I'm pretty sure you could block like a task that already like has effect on the later like Slayer Masters. You could block trolls or something if you wanted to, that you could still use for the later ones. So from the perspective of like endgame players, this whole system looks amazing. This looks, by the way, like pretty good, like this interface. I wish there was like some extra sorting here, that you could actually see the thing with the percentages, like which one is the most common and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is already a huge improvement, so we don't have to go to the wiki anymore to like find this out. But yeah, as I was saying, for the perspective of the endgame players, this looks very good, because you already have a bunch of points and you can just like go to Slayer Masters and boom boom boom, just select all your blocks for every master that you want. But I don't think this is gonna be a good system for someone who's like starting out with Slayer and trying to progress like through the Slayer Masters. So yeah, if Lil Timmy is finding out that he has to spend the equivalent of another Slayer helm to even try and do Konar, like because he is not gonna have any blocks on Konar when he gets there, he has to spend another 400 points to even get that going. Like I don't think Lil Timmy is gonna be happy with that. And I mean, and then the same when he gets to Neve, like another 400 points to even do that Slayer Master. Like that is not gonna be fun, I think, because then he will. Well, let's say if Timmy has the guts to even keep going after finding it out, he goes back to Turiel, and then he finds out that at Turiel, to like point boost, he finds out he gets another 2 block slots, because last time he was at Turiel he only had like 100 quest points and now he has 200. So he can unlock another 2, so he has to spend another 80 points to even efficiently Turiel skip at that point for points. So yeah, no bueno. Oh, and then don't even have me started on like actual Konar. Like if someone is already past the point of point boosting and they are trying to do like their 50th task or like their 100th task from like Neve, and they want a little bit extra points, people like currently a meta is to go to Konar to do that task, and most of the blocks are very similar. So let's say you have your block list at Neve and Steve like sorted, like you have Black Demons on there, Hellhounds, all that stuff. And then you go to Konar and you just get assigned like 150 Hellhounds in the Witch Haven dungeon, and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot how to do my Konar block list because I thought I'd already carried over. And then yeah, you can't even do Konar skipping or Konar point boosting for your like 10th or whatever task because you don't have a block list there. So yeah, I mean I probably made my point at this point that I don't think having these like still costing points is cost this many points is a good idea. And I like also like having the block list separate when you progress through the skill. Like the separate block lists are good for endgame players, not for people leveling Slayer. But at least like they're changing some point cost things here, which is, I mean, this one is the biggest change, 1k to 500. Still think it's not that good to, like, it's nice to have this, but you're probably better off just skipping more tasks. If you're like only going for a like 85 Slayer or something, you're not gonna bother with this if you can just skip more to unlock your Abyssal Whip. But something else they kind of did not mention here, and I think should really be addressed, is the Fossil Island Wyvern block unlock. I don't think people even know this exists, and definitely JMods don't know this exists in the like buried in the Slayer unlocks menu. But there's an unlock that stops the Wyverns from being assigned. So it's just essentially just another block slot, but specifically for Wyverns, and it costs 500 points. Yes, that seems very normal to have a 500 point one-time block slot for a specific task. That seems like a good idea to have. So can we please, Jagex, make a combination task that is just called Wyverns or Wyverns? I think it's Wyverns how you pronounce it. And just delete this Fossil Island like block unlock thing, because 500 points is outrageous, and it just makes sense to combine them with Skeletal Wyverns, so you can just skip them or choose to do either Skeletal or Fossil Island Wyverns. I think that is not a very weird thing I'm saying here. I think that we should just do that. And then for the dragon task, like for the combination tasks, like on paper it looks good, like nobody likes iron dragons, but they're not very common to begin with, like the iron dragons itself. But if you combine all these, and they say like, where is it? The feels like you're only having, you normally have multiple feel bad skip tasks, and you wind out with just one. But what if you just block that task, Jagex? Like, you're gonna remove 16 weight in like across the 4 tasks, like Rune, Eddy, Iron and Steel Dragons is a combined weighting of 16 on Druidel. So if you just block them, you get essentially a double block, because normally you block around weighting tasks around 8. It's kind of what you want to block at Druidel. So if you can just block a single task that you would never do for one block slot, that is waiting 16 in total, because they're going to remove the other tasks. That makes everything else a lot more common, and that kind of boosts efficient Slayer by around 10% from what I've calculated, and that seems like a bit too much for a simple change like this, but yeah. It is kind of cool though that you would be able to get 200 rune dragons, but yeah, I don't think we should do this, personally. And then they have some crap about like herb sack and golem bane, but I don't really... This one is good though, like the rune pouch from MTA. I'm kind of surprised it was not even introduced there in the first place, but alright. And oh yeah, also the Arceuus spell tweaks, make sure to like, I don't know, flame them on Twitter for not doing this. I think they already said they might walk back on this, but this is a very strange change. Like they're saying, simplifying the number of different runes you require to make the Arceuus spellbook work, and then they add like chaos runes into the mix, and also having irons use like 4 soul runes or 4 ether runes per trial cast, which they already have a very limited amount of to begin with, so yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that one. But I also said I have an idea to make Slayer a lot better, because I think this the core idea of this is good, but I want to see like some more freedom in the skill, because the skill is very like in a stranglehold almost because of the point system. The points are tied to XP with skips and unlocks, but at the same time they are tied to like all the quality of life stuff with like the unlocks. And I think having those two things pool at the same resource, and they're also like requiring you to have more more points to spend on the blocks when progressing through Slayer. That's gonna pull even harder on the already limited resource that is Slayer points, and I don't think that's gonna be good. So what I want to propose is a very simple 8-step plan to fix Slayer. As I said, main issue that it directly ties XP an hour in skips and blocks, and every single unlock like from the same resource. This causes Slayer points to feel scarce and causes a big upfront cost to even start the skill. Like this is, I don't even know why we like normalize point boosting. Like Slayer should be very easy to get into, and then the more you go on, the more stuff you unlock with your actual like Slayer level, and not with just the minigame point side of things. So what I want to do for this is remove the combat requirements for Slayer Masters and give them Slayer level requirements. I don't think it makes any sense to not have this. Like, how many Masters do we even have? Like 8? How do 7 of those not have a Slayer level requirement? Only Druidel has an arbitrary like 50 Slayer, which should be way higher. And then the second thing I would do is detach block slots from quest points and the Lumby Diary as well. And make the block slots actually like scale with your Slayer level. So every 15 levels, you would get an extra block slot. So that way you actually progress through the Masters with extra blocks, because you're gonna get more tasks assigned anyway when your Slayer level goes up. So it also makes sense that you are able to block more when your Slayer level goes up. This is technically a slight of a nerf if you would have done all your questing before you start Slayer. But yeah, more internal skill progression is just a W, I think, for the Slayer skill, because it needs that. It's not a minigame. And I always found it weird how quests were like related to that. Like, let's say another skill had this. Like, let's say if Sepulcher, like, you needed 250 quest points to unlock floor 5. Like, that's kind of what we're doing here. I don't think that makes any sense. It should be tied to a Slayer level. And then the third one, probably kind of an, I don't know, controversial one maybe, but I think it's not that controversial. Blocking tasks should now be free, because the only thing that blocking tasks costing points is doing is just like front loading the skill, and making the early game very shitty because you're needing to point boost or do Wildy Slayer to point boost. Because like early game, the points are the slowest to obtain, and then later on you're gonna have like no issue with points, and I don't know, it's kind of backwards. And then another thing I think would be nice, like this is not even necessary, all the things to, well, level 0.5 should probably be necessary, and 7 as well, but I think this could be nice as well if you just extended tasks through the new UI that they made, like this, that you also have a, wait, where is it now? That you also have a button here that you could just extend the task if you wanted to. But they would need to track that with KC, and it's just free after that. Like when you have met the KC threshold of a monster, let's say like Abby Specs, you need to kill 200 to like be able to click this button. That would be over here. I think that will be a pretty good change. You don't have to spend points every time you wanna extend or not extend a task anymore. And then number 5, I think like all the unlocks, like the Slayer Helm and task storage, that kind of stuff, should also be tied to Slayer level and not points anymore. Again, just more if you're not skill progression, and that should be just a given at this point. But what this does is, of course, this frees up a lot of extra points. Like if you do these 3 steps, people are gonna have like an extra, like 1,000 to 2,000 points, if not more. So people want to spend those points as well. So I think if we actually buff the Slayer reward shop a little bit, because currently it has like a Slayer ring for 75 points and some broad ammunition, that's kind of all you can do, and you can buy the room pouch and stuff, but there's better places to buy those items. But it is very empty, this reward shop, so yeah, I would like to offer some lucrative rewards to have people, like, basically you can choose between still using your points on skips, but there's also some nice items that are only coming from the Slayer reward shop that actually help yeah, your Slayer journey quite a lot. I will show what I have in mind later. And then for number 7, I would like to see urgent tasks. I've already presented this idea in another video I did it on Slayer a while back, but basically this is a alternative for Turiel. And I think it's very simple and should probably be added at some point in the game. I do think they don't have time for like all these changes right now for the summer sweep. Like I've talked to JMods and they basically said like, yeah, we do not have the time to like pitch this and go back and forth with the community. So like the summer sweep update is just not that big of a scope of an update to facilitate this kind of stuff. And then you could also, like, if you're making changes, why not make some miscellaneous changes for yeah, some other things. But yeah, for Slayer Masters, I would like to see levels attached to them instead of combat levels. This allows like limited account builds to also interact with them like more easily, and it just makes sense to, like, woodcutting has woodcutting levels for like different trees and different like axes you can use, and Slayer only has levels attached to like Slayer monsters and not to, well, the other, like the tool that actually allows you to hunt those monsters. So makes sense to have requirements here. Duradel sees a little increase in Slayer level because normally it's level 50, but I don't think level 75 is that crazy here. And it leaves room for another Slayer Master in the future for at like 85 Slayer or something. And also the same for like future unlocks. Like coming back to the quest thing. Every 50 levels makes it so that you have at level 91 you have all 7, because with the quest points there's no limit on it. Like in 2030 or something, we might have 20 block slots because we have like fucking 1,000 quest points or whatever. It's probably not going to be that high, but you know what I mean. Like there's no like with Sailing and Farlamore coming out in this year, we're probably already gonna see block slot number 8 because we're gonna pass 350 quest points. So this kind of limits the power creep we can have in Slayer as well. And if we would ever do a 120 Slayer in the future, that would unlock your 8th block slot. I think that is more than fair to do it that way instead of like making this endless power creep go up. And then for some unlocks, yeah, already. No, this is different, by the way. For some unlocks, we have the auto unlocks, like the Gargoyle, Smasher, Slug Salter. You just have to do it manually a couple times, and then you just unlock the ability to do it automatically. I think that is pretty straightforward. We don't need more like unlocks with points here. Just make it so after an X amount of kills, I just put 50 here, it doesn't matter. You get to do that automatically. Extending Slayer tasks, 250 KC of the respective monster. Also not that crazy, that's like 2 tasks of most monsters that you have to do unextended, and then you can just toggle them every time. Superior creatures should just be unlocked when you unlock your first monster that has superiors, which is at level 5, I think. Slayer helms and all this kind of stuff also should just have a Slayer level requirement when you unlock it. Slayer helmet is not really needed before level 60 anyway, and at level 60 you unlock heavy specs where you would use them, so I think that is fitting. Task storage, also just give it to people when they would actually need it. Around level 70 I think is a fair point to like inject that one in the Slayer progression. Oh yeah, this would also just be a free toggle that you get to unlock at level 75, like a boss. And the Slayer helm recolors, which are currently costing 1k points each, they should just be free. Like, come on man, what are we doing? Just get the item and just slap those on there. Shouldn't be too crazy, I think, with a Slayer level requirement, of course. Alright, and then we have the Slayer point reward shop that I would like to talk about. Currently it's pretty ass, like we have nothing on here, a looting bag and 2 items that you could actually buy and like consume, I guess. So I would like to add some other stuff on here. First off, high elk tabs. Why do we not have this in 2025? Like, it's kind of weird to me that we're still having to rely on the 30 daily charges when you're slaying on Ancients or Arceuus from the Explorer's Ring. Just, yeah, just make this happen, man. Also think some supply crates could be nice for like more of the early game Slayers, where you can spend some points on getting some runes, potions, food, and Blighted as well for Wildy Slayer. Also another one that I think could be quite nice, especially for Irons, to get some more use out of cannonballs instead of like having to slowly make them, which is just never worth it. Just the ability to buy some cannonballs seems fitting for a Slayer shop, to actually have your points have some value. Yeah, some broad arrowheads to save some GP is also not crazy, I think, even though this, I don't know what the ratios are, but I think it would be nice to have something like this as well, where you can spend some excess points after finishing your Slayer grind on some items, and it also adds you. It also adds more GP per hour for people who are like slaying for money, and they aren't like super nitpicky of like doing efficient tasks where they skip everything. So if they just do every task, which a lot of people actually do, like just everything to get a lot of points, you get some nice extra GP. Or you could use it on a superior serum, which is a little bit expensive, but what this does is like you kind of just inject this in the monster as you kill it, and then it has a 100% chance to spawn a superior Slayer creature. And of course it consumes the serum when doing so, so this is just a little like reward boost to hunting an imbued heart, where you, when you do get your like very good task for imbued heart chance, you would buy a couple of these if you have the points to boost it even further. And then, probably the most, needed one, I would say, an alternative for Turiel, because how do we still accept that Turiel is the way to, like, get tasks? in 2025. I think it should be fixed like a long time ago. So what I would introduce here is a system that works as the following. Like, you go to a Slayer Master, and then, well, you have like an option or a button or whatever. Well, actually, I made a whole interface for this in my previous idea, but I don't think Jagex is gonna do something like that, even though it looks better than what they have, but it requires a bigger rework. But yeah, basically, you pick the task that you want. Let's say I want Smoke Devils because I'm hunting in a mute heart. I would just go to that task and pick as urgent. Then the Slayer Master says like, whoa, 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 alright buddy, I can give you that task, but first you need to do like this urgent task for me, which is, yeah, it consists of several different monsters you have to slay for him before receiving those Smoke Devils. And yeah, after you have completed that, then you get the task. That's like the gameplay loop, these 3 steps. And it seems pretty easy, because the problem right now with Turiel is that, first of all, it's Giga RNG. Like, sometimes you get a task in like 2 skips, otherwise, other times you're just skipping for 3 hours and you don't even get the task that you want. Because, yeah, we all love RNG. So I think making it guaranteed is already like the biggest fix for something like this. And on top of that, you would not be killing cows and goblins. You would actually be killing some Slayer monsters that, yeah, feel better to kill. Like, I have an example here for if you like pick Zug, you might be asked to kill some bosses, like some Zulra here, some demonic gorillas, and then some like more normal Slayer monsters, and it would take like 15 to 20 minutes to guarantee a Slayer task, which makes it so that it's just not efficient to do, because the XP from this kind of stuff is kind of shit. And then, yeah, you wouldn't be able to like abuse this for the best Slayer XP per hour. But yeah, that's pretty much all I would like to see. Like, this thing is very needed to make the rest work, because if you're not adding an alternative for Turiel, the whole thing kinda, I don't know, doesn't really feel that good. I also had some miscellaneous changes. Again, like the Fossil Island Wyverns, like combine those with Wyverns, please. Also, like, if you want to read this, I don't think this is very important right now, but if you want to read this, I'll link the document below. But I think the CA stuff should also just come from Slayer progression as well, the cannonballs. The cannonballs should just also, and the superior Slayer monster chance should also just be included, but maybe that's a bit too much for now. And also, superior Cave Kraken? Where is that little buddy? I would like to see him as well being added at some point. And also, like, ancient shards don't have a use right now, so what if you could just combine that with a totem for a guaranteed elite clue and a slightly harder Scotizo fight? Would also be a cool idea. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about like these first why can I not select this? These first like 4 steps, I think, and step 7 as well. Well, actually, let me know what you think about all of those. Do you think this is a better idea than what Jagex has, or do you think this is going a little bit too far with making blocks free? I've heard positive like receptions on my idea for the most part. Some people saying like, oh, this is maybe a bit too much. But yeah, let me know what you think. I think this is more of a home run than what Jagex is proposing with their idea right now. With this, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you hopefully soon in the UEM to GM series when I finally decide to upload another video. But yeah, take care and have a great rest of your day.